Hi, I hope that you are well. Thank you so much for joining me today, where we're going to explore melting points, specifically the melting point of different types of candy. So one thing that I do on colder days is drink tea, and sometimes I like to flavor my tea. I might take my tea and put a piece of candy in it, and then that way my tea flavors like the candy. So in the wintertime I do a lot of peppermint. And what I've noticed is that as the candy cane sits in the tea, it actually starts melting into the tea. And I don't know if you can notice or not, but some of the colorful stripes on this are already gone. And this got me to thinking, like, what's going to be the best kind of candy to put into my tea to flavor my tea? And is there candy that would be better to use at higher temperatures and say in the summer if I wanted a flavored tea? Is there candy that I could put in iced tea or room temperature tea that would also melt into and flavor my tea? So we're going to take a look at candy and at what temperature it melts at. And we're using two different kinds of candy today. We're going to use gummy bears, and we're going to use hard sugar candy. And to continue this experiment, we're going to use two different temperatures of water. Room temperature water, and I have some water that I just heated up in the microwave, and it's cooling down a little bit, so I'm going to heat it a little more so it is at boiling. So I've got the hot, almost boiling water, and I have the room temperature water. And we are going to do the ones on the right in room temperature water. There's a line on the cup, so I'm just going to fill it to that line. And I'm using the same flavor of candy for each of these, and I'm going to use red for both of these, just so we can't, just so it's a consistent experiment. So we're going to let those sit for a little while. And while they're doing their thing, we'll talk about what I did earlier today. So, because I was concerned about the amount of time that it would take for both types of candy to melt in the room temperature water, I prepared some in advance. So if we take a look at a gummy bear, just fresh out of the package, is about 2.5 centimeters long. A couple hours ago, I put this gummy bear in room temperature water, and it is now 3 centimeters long. And 1 hour ago, I put this gummy worm in room temperature water and a piece of hard candy in this room temperature water. So if we take this gummy worm out, it's about 2 3/4 centimeters. But if you look, the cup that had the hard candy, it's completely dissolved. So what is the difference between the hard sugar candy and the gummy bear? That the gummy bear expands in size in room temperature water, and the hard sugar candy dissolves. I'm going to quick have a drink of my tea, and the whole bottom part of my candy cane is gone. Let's take a look at the ingredients on the packages. The hard candy contains sugar, corn syrup, artificial flavor, and artificial coloring. The gummy bear contains corn syrup, sugar, water, gelatin, citric acid, natural and artificial flavors, pectin, leaf wax, and then some artificial coloring. And the thing I want to point out there is the gelatin. Gelatin forms a structure that at room temperature will allow the water in, and it holds it in. And as more water comes in, it gets trapped in the structure of the gelatin. So what happens at warmer temperatures?
Let's take a look at the candy that we just started. So if we check out the gummy bear, it looks to be about the same size as it was when we started. If we measure it, it's about 2.4 centimeters. We can tell that our hard sugar candy is smaller. If we measure that, it's about 2 centimeters. The water is turning red again. If we compare it to the original size, we can see that it's definitely smaller than it was. What about the gummy bear in the hot water? Well, it is appreciably smaller than it was. It's lost its shape. It's about 1 centimeter. How about our hard sugar candy? That's all that's left of it.
So what have we learned here today? We know that the melting point of a sugar candy is lower than the melting point of a candy that has gelatin in it. We've also learned that the gelatin structure at room temperature will absorb water, trap it in there, and grow. But when it does get warmer and approaches the melting point of gelatin, then it will melt into the liquid as well. I hope that you have definitely enjoyed this look at candy melting points. I know that if I want to flavor my iced tea or my room temperature tea, I am definitely going to use a sugar candy to do that and not gummy bear candy. We'll be back again soon where we'll be exploring and creating. I hope that you've enjoyed this look at candy melting points, and I hope that you give it a try yourself. Just be careful, make sure that you are using containers that aren't going to melt with the hot water, and that you're being careful. We'll be back soon where we'll do some more exploring and creating for the spooky season. And until then, I hope that you continue to explore your world and use your creativity to improve it. And thank you.